Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Lord Haman. I'm gonna be reviewing the most overpowered monster in Monster Legends in 2022, or probably for the next 10 years. This monster will be the most overpowered monster in the game. I'm gonna go ahead and review it. Make sure to watch until the end of the video because there's something I have to say at the end of the video. But this monster, we're going to do an analysis real quick, take a look at the skill sheets and compare it with the other monsters and see whether or not it's going to be meta. It definitely will be meta, so let's go ahead and get started. So where do we even start with this monster? I mean, first of all, let's go ahead and get into the design. So the design looking very nice, right? I mean, it looks way better than the previous Hayman, although the previous Hayman was actually very overpowered as well. This one is just game breaking, seriously. So take a look at this. I'm gonna hide my webcam. Look at the look at his hand. He's holding Lord Pumpseed's head, and you guys know Lord Pumpseed was an insanely broken, most powerful monster in the game, right? Back then when he got released. And so Haman's basically holding his head. So you know what that makes him? That makes him even more overpowered. Seriously. So let's go ahead and take a look at the traits. We have immune to daze. No way he has immune to daze. That is just an insane trait. I mean, imagine having immune to daze. Like, that's just, it already puts him in the, you know, S tier list. Gravedigger? Okay. You know what? I'll give it to him. That's pretty good too. Hardened? No way. Hardened's just amazing. And then rank 4 you have Sass because of torture immunity. No freaking way. And in rank 5 I believe that's a random elemental weakness, right? Look at the stats. 14,909. Well, you guys can actually see it, but look. 14,992 speed, 24,960 power, and 401,000 and 901 life. Don't forget the 901 life. That one life puts him above every single one monster. The power puts him all the way up in S tier, way better than Serpentix for sure. Speed even faster than Maggie, which is pretty insane, right? Let's take a look at the skills. Here we go again. Activates all cooldowns on one enemy. Removes positive side effects from one enemy. Applies a random torture to all enemies. Now that is what I call broken. Seriously, that skill is just off the chart. That should be an ultimate. We have a possession to one enemy and double damage to one enemy. So he's possessing the enemy and give him double damage. No other monster could ever do that. So that also puts him in the S tier. Probably S plus or something like that. And then we have Bad Dream House, which is activating cooldown on all enemies and ignite as well. Wow, he could do that? No way. Scary Trick. Deals low attack damage to one enemy, applies fear to one enemy, applies a random negative status effect to one enemy, and 3-turn death countdown. That is insane. You know, this monster is just insanely OP, guys. So when he becomes available, I recommend picking him up. Like, I can't believe this monster is actually being released. It's crazy. It's game breaking. You know what I mean? Now, in terms of books, I think that's Undead. So, wow. No way. Undead book 2? And exclusive book is lacking, so I'm glad he's there. He's gonna be there with Forge Labs, Captain Electra, and a few other ones. So I'm glad they're working on that. And he's double element. No other monster has ever been double element before. Isn't that insane? And he's a mythic, obviously. So, wow. So where do we even like start? Where do we even like compliment? Design or skills or stats or traits or books or elements? This monster's just it's insanely good. Now we're gonna go ahead and get into this because we gotta take a look at all the other tier attacks with the basic attacks and everything. So let's go ahead and start. Well, before we do that, there's relics. Staff and banner. No one has ever had the staff relic. Have they? I don't think so. So staff and banner, those are very good for this monster. Since he's a denier, a very broken denier. That's even more overpowered than Cupid, Serpentix, Euro, name any meta monster right now. Yeah. Low physical damage to one enemy, that is insanely powerful. So that is a 25 damage, should have been like 90 or something. 0 cooldown, physical, 13 stamina cost. Apply possession to one enemy and nightmares as well. No way. I don't think any monster has ever had that too. I just can't believe it's 0 cooldown. It should have been like 5 turn or 10 turn cooldown or something. Wow. Little Dry Hand deals moderate fire damage to all enemies, applies ignite to all enemies, requires all cooldowns. What? Okay, well that's another. It's very powerful. Seriously, I mean, look at the damage, 35. That's way too powerful. Goes moderate dark damage to all enemies, applies nightmares to all enemies. So that's basically the same as the little dry hard, but basically it is a dark instead of fire, and it comes with nightmares. You'll destroy Ural with it because of the dark element versus earth. Then we have the tier 2. Here we go again. Like we already mentioned that one. That one's really powerful. Tier 2, you know, God of Cops applies possession and double damage to an enemy. I think we already saw that one too. That is just insanely good. Bad Dream House, you know, that one's the AoE CDA with Ignite, and also we've seen the Scary Trick as well, right? And look at the other one, Pump Seed itself applies a 3-turn death countdown to one enemy, applies fear to all enemies, applies fear or nightmares to all enemies. That's crazy. This monster can actually apply that countdown? No way. Don't Fear the Reaper. Removes positive side effects from one enemy, removes positive side effects on one enemy, and applies a random torture to one enemy, gives one extra turn. That is just too good. Hayman Ghost Carnival. Removes positive side effects from one enemy, applies possession to one enemy, applies possession to all enemies, applies a random torture to all enemies. What? That is crazy. All hail Hayman. Yeah, definitely. Hail Hayman, man. Applies Mega Possession to all enemies, applies Nightmares. No way, no one has ever had Mega Possession in the game. This is the first monster to, you know, introduce that. The ultimate is called the Best Legendary. Obviously, removes positive side effects from all enemies, disables trace on all enemies, applies Fear to all enemies, applies a 3-turn death countdown. What? That is crazy. Alright guys, here is where the analysis actually starts. The true analysis, okay? It was all a joke, guys. But you know what? While I was actually looking at it, he actually has some pretty interesting skill sets, and I've got to give it to him. He's actually not that bad. So this is the actual analysis. Now we're being serious, okay? Let's actually take this serious. Sadly, he does have that dark element in a light meta, so be careful of Serpentix and, you know, Cupid. But other than that, I'm glad that he's an exclusive book. That actually is pretty good because the what's it called? Superhero book is actually lacking pretty badly. Like, I know we have Captain Electro, which was recently added, but other than that, another good monster is like Forge Labs, Cuberion, and maybe Spectra, but everyone else just kind of sucks, except maybe UV Fusion. But there's just, it's just lacking really badly. So I'm glad they're adding it into that. You do have traits immune to Daze, Gravedigger, and all that other stuff. I don't like the Daze as much. I also don't like the Harden as much, but Gravedigger is actually not that bad. And then Rank 4 stats, because the random torture that you're applying, that's actually very good. Rank 5, you get that random elemental weakness, I believe it is, or random elemental weakness hater. But I think if it was black, then it'd be like the hater one, right? So that one's just a weakness. So that's actually very nice traits, I've got to say. Now his stats are actually pretty good too, surprisingly. 14,992, you know, speed, 24,960 power. Don't worry about the power as much. 401,901 life. I actually like that. Now, stats aside, did you see the relics? Relics are actually pretty good, and I'm being serious. Staff and banner, that's actually very nice. You could give in Alox banner or any type of banner that basically regenerates stamina or heals you. Staff, or you know what? I actually go with a staff that either regenerates your stamina or drains the enemy stamina. And then banner could be a heal or, you know, stamina regen, but make sure to give stamina regen in one of them. You do need that. Now here we go again, activates all cooldowns, removes positive stats for one enemy, applies a random torture to all enemies. Now that's actually not that bad. I just wish the AoE, it would have been AoE remove positive status effects, but I think he actually has that in one of the other, you know, skill sets or tier sets. I'll show you guys in just a second. I don't know why they didn't put it up here. God of Cops, which is a possession and double damage. I don't think anybody's really gonna run this, because just imagine if you miss the possession. There are chances if you actually miss the possession, the double damage will land and the enemy will have a free double damage. So be careful of that. You're definitely going to give it for an attacker most of the time, so yeah, it can be scary. Now you do have Bad Dream House, which activates all cooldowns and applies ignites. I think this one's actually going to be used a little bit. I can see players running this one. Scary Trick removes, or it actually does some damage, and it applies fear to an enemy. It applies a random negative side effect and a 3-turn death countdown. So you're applying 2 death countdowns, or not 2 death countdowns, 2 negative side effects One of them is the 3-turn death countdown, and the second one could be something else. So that random negative status effect could be like damage reduction, or for example, I think stamina drain would be one, right? So there's much more, honestly, better ones. Can't think of any, but I don't know if, I guess players will probably run this. I don't know. Will you guys actually run Scary Trick? But we do have many other better skills here. Like, look at this, tier 4. This is where it gets interesting. Now for tier 4, we have Pump Seed itself, which applies a 3-turn death countdown to one enemy, applies fear to all enemies, and applies, you know, nightmares as well. Fear is actually very nice. It's a very nice status effect, so I would say maybe run that one. Now you do have Don't Fear the Reaper, another really good skill. I think Manny's gonna definitely run this one because it comes with PER and it comes with another PER, so you're basically removing positive status effect twice, and then you're also applying a random torture set at enemy without triggering, let's say, 7 sets if the enemy's running 7 sets or something, because you're not really dealing damage. You're just PERing, applying a random torture, and then you're getting that extra turn. So I would say run this one. This is like a must-have skill right here. Just be careful of anticipation monsters, obviously. Hayman Ghost Carnival removes all their status effects from an enemy, applies possession to an enemy, applies a basic possession to all enemies, applies the random torture. Now this is a really good skill. Imagine pairing this right here with this. This is just crazy. And wow, you know what? Maybe the title and the thumbnail really describes this monster. I was actually going to meme this video out, but honestly, now that I think about it, these two skills right here make him very overpowered, I've got to say. Well, I wouldn't call him overpowered, but these are some really nice skill sets. Don't even lie. Like, look, you start off with Don't Fear the Reaper, which you PER twice, give an extra turn. Let's say the enemy had Megaton Statuscaster, right? So it's all clear now. What you can do is use the PER, possession to an enemy, and then possession to all enemies, and then random torture to everybody. So you can land that on dodge area. So basically you can bypass dodge area and align possession on everybody, which is very nice. And on top of that, you come to the torture as well, so you're applying torture. You do have a mega possession to all enemies with nightmares. I think players are definitely going to run this one too, all Haman. I do like the fact that they added this right here, the best legendary. Get it? Because people were memeing that this monster is best legendary when it actually wasn't. But that is a very looking what's called ultimate. That ultimate is very nice. It comes with PER, trade tables, and fears on all enemies with death countdown. That is just insane. If you don't have a Megataunt on your side, it's over for you. Or dodge area. Imagine your base is just open. You get hit with that, it's over. Seriously. So definitely a very broken ultimate. One of the best ultimates in my opinion. Jokes aside. But overall, the monster is actually not that bad, guys. The only thing that really makes it bad is his elements. The fact that he is a dark monster. So as long as, you know, Cupid and Serpentic still in meta, this monster, just be careful of those two monsters, you know what I mean? I think he'll be used mainly in Team Wars. I'm not sure about PvP. I think people will definitely run it on PvP, but mainly Team Wars though. I can see that. But that's going to be pretty much it for today's monster analysis review on Lord Haman. I can't wait to review him in, you know, the game. So yeah, I just hope these tier 4 skills aren't, you know, like you have to pay in order to unlock them. You know what I mean? Like they'll be locked until you rank them up. So I hope it's not like that. But I do have a lot of Astronauts saved up. I might actually rank this one up, to be honest. I can see him being used, especially again Team Wars exclusive book. People are definitely gonna run this. It's gonna be a nice monster. So yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.